Hey guys, it's Choso Gaming. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's get into the video. As more or less the antithesis to the Order, who are the Orphans at Kamar? These orphans are trained since childhood to become Order members. Since the new head of the JA is evil, things don't turn out as initially intended. Slur has the most information, so I'll talk about him a little bit and then save the big spoilers for last. Slur, X, Uzuki, whatever you want to call him, has a split personality. Uzuki is the mastermind behind hundreds of assassins being taken out, as he intends to destroy the world of assassination work from the inside out. His reasoning for wanting to do this comes from the love of his family at the Kamar orphanage, as well as his hatred for his brother. Before starting on Gaku, let's talk about an important flashback, when Slur started being evil. We talked about this briefly in a video I did a few months ago, and Slur could have potentially even become a part of the Order himself. Hidaka is the guy in this photo. So unlike the monster trio of Nagumo, Sakamoto, and Rion, Slur is a comparatively unassuming student. Continuing this isolation, Slur is given a brutal mission from his brother: kill the people he is supposed to help escort. Slur is disgusted at the idea of killing innocents, so instead, Slur asks if he can take out Hidaka instead. His brother says that works, so when everyone is conveniently poisoned by someone in the way of their escort, this poison in particular accelerates when you move fast. The very same poison is used by Slur to take out Hidaka, as when he picks up the antidote, he drops it on purpose. Most importantly, Rion Akao spots this, and when she chases after Slur, this is the last time anyone sees her alive. Not only does Slur kill her, but he also absorbs her personality, and she is the reason the story even happens. I could go more in depth, but it should just be for another video at this point. Ask in the comments if you want it. This is enough for Slur, so let's talk about the other orphans. Here's Slur's crew arriving on the scene. Gaku is Slur's right-hand man, and a total gamer. Some brief background before we talk about his fight with Nagumo. He piloted a guy via VR at one point, got his arm and ear cut off by Takamura, which Kashima was kind enough to fix for him. Nagumo is just looking for Slur, and Gaku is glum. His opponent isn't Takamura, which Nagumo chides him for. Since neither guy is satisfied with their foe, Nagumo suggests they just pretend they never met, and Gaku agrees. Clashing sword versus club, both fighters note they're lying here. Already looking a little beat up, Nagumo asks if Gaku is stronger than his boss. Thinking while fighting, Gaku is sure he's stronger than Nagumo, but when it comes to quickness, it's a tie, though he knows to be careful. Faced with a lightning fast rush from Nagumo, following his moves, no problem. The thing is, keen eyes are easily distracted. With his signature dice, Nagumo closes in to slice Gaku's shoulder. Gaku has had enough, and we get a peek at his gamer HUD view of the world. Killing is just a game to Gaku, and it better be fun. Nagumo drives forward with a kick, but Gaku grabs it and throws him. The follow-up is a crushing blow with Gaku's club, cracking Nagumo's sword. Gaku states the best kind of weapon is heavy and hard to break. Sneakily, Nagumo impales Gaku, much to his shock. As Nagumo states, the key to killing is deception. Nagumo apologizes as he didn't think he could win a regular fight, so he resorted some sneaky methods. Nagumo explains that since his sword is covered in blood, the trick is up now. Gaku is thinking about how the blade is not actually invisible, and most of the effect comes from how distracted he was by Nagumo's other moves. Finally realizing the danger he's in, Gaku is bleeding profusely, and Nagumo warns he doesn't have a lot of time left. Gaku has no problem with the blood gushing out of his chest, confusing Nagumo. Now we're getting into the killing speedrun. And we're speedrunning to the end of the fight too. One final clash between Nagumo and Gaku, with the victor being Gaku, it seems. Let's cut to Shin and Sakamoto trying to save Nagumo, and Kashima is trying to help too now, but he notices something is off with his arm. Shin is confused about what's going on, and sees the tattoos disappearing off Nagumo. Shin notices too late now, but the person they were actually saving was Gaku. We'll get back to him a bit later. Kumomi has a magnetism power, and uses it with great efficiency, as well as being quite physically strong and durable. Kumomi cares about Gaku like a little brother and often gets quite upset to see him bullied. When faced with Hyo, she rips off one of his ears thinking that maybe he was the one who cut off Gaku's ear. Hyo is not the one who did this, as it was Takamura. Like most of the cast, she has a unique view on morality. People are either friends or foes, and anyone who hurts her friends is an enemy. Hyo smashes her through a bunch of platforms, but she's fine. Orphans are super tough. Kumomi takes issue with Hyo, saying he'll eliminate her in the name of the Order. Kumomi has enough of this prattling. This is her opportunity to make an extremely vague reference to how Slur almost joined the Order. catching Hyo off guard and using her magnetism power to fire throughs like a coil gun. Very creative. She ends up aiming it at a child passing by, but Hyo jumps in the way, losing an eye in the process. Hisuke comes in to help and bounces a bullet off of Hyo's chin plate. Admonishing Hisuke, Hyo takes the time to land a devastating blow on Kumomi. Kumomi seems down for the count, but this cuts directly to Hyo taking a brutal shot to his other eye, in the place of Hisuke instead of a child this time. Kumomi was out for a second there and is quite happy her orphanage buds aren't here to see it. Hisuke asks Kumomi why she's even doing this, and she explains it's for her orphanage. Stealing away orphans for the sole goal of making new order members, the whole idea is messed up and didn't even work. Done with talking, Hyo butts in with no eyes at this point. Kumomi is not even sure how he's alive. So am I. Crashing through the pier, both Kumomi and Hyo are straight into the water. No matter what, one of them is not coming back alive. Drowning now, Kumomi pulls some boat propellers brutally through Hyo's chest. Still clutching Kumonomi's hand, Hyo is bleeding out, while she wishes he would just die already. After getting out of the water, Kumomi is missing an arm now, as even in death, Hyo wouldn't let go. And we're skipping forward here a bit. After seeing Gaku on the ground after losing to Nagumo, she smushes his cheek and such, letting his unconscious body know that they'll play video games later. Though the softness is fleeting and she gets right back to business after, fighting Shishiba more. Anyway, she loses to Shishiba and it's time for us to talk about the next character. Haruma is the sports guy of the group. Though he's an assassin, he prefers to follow the rules of random organized sports. He's fighting Shin here, who's the psychic of Sakamoto's group. While Haruma is just getting into gear, Shin is still reeling from a bomb that blew up earlier and his ESP is not working. Shin narrowly dodges Haruma's big throw. Shin notes how all the moves Haruma has used are directly correlated to sports, and now he even follows the specific rules. If he can accurately guess the sport, he can use it to his own advantage. After guessing what move Haruma will use next, Shin hits him with the verbal jab of how there are no rules to this game. That game being assassination, of course. Haruma begins his reasoning as to why he is so sporty. Haruma explains that if he wasn't following his own rules, it'd be too easy against a green assassin like Shin. Not only does Haruma think he has him beat in every category, but also in Riz as well. Not enjoying the court being too far tilted in his favor, at least Haruma does know this comes off as strange. And understandably, Shin is more than a little bit confused. Skipping forward a bit, Shin is now in a fountain, ready for some sumo. Hoping to win their scuffle in the ring, Shin is standing ready. Haruma is still pondering what type of sport sumo is. Is it martial or just practical? He also notes that the gloves Shin is wearing boost his strength, and guesses that they only have a little bit of juice left. Haruma is now running through the fountain, realizing too late it's still functional. Shin, having planned for this, throws a grenade made by Siba right at Haruma. This freeze grenade has Haruma stuck, but he doesn't think Shin has anything that could even damage him here, which is lots of lift from a sitting duck. Shin plugs his ears and powers up his gloves for a giant clap. Using one of the last two charges from his gloves, Shin obliterates Haruma's eardrums, telling him how this attack would bypass his regular durability, though this falls on deaf ears. Haruma, now literally falling, finishes his realization. Shin wanted to disrupt his balance with the ear damage and wants to rush in. The thing is, Haruma catches his punch because even if he has no balance, the ground right now is solid ice. With ice comes ice climbing, and this just means Haruma punched the ground really hard for balance and is ready to counter. This counter never comes out, as with his psychic powers, Shin yells stop, freezing up Haruma, now less literally. Neither guy knows what's happening anymore, but Shin can still move. Using the last bit of charge in his gloves, Shin lands a devastating slam, winning him the sumo match. As Haruma bounces out of the ring at breakneck speed, Shin is begging that Haruma won't get up as he is totally exhausted at this point. Shin is still hoping Haruma won't get up, but he does, of course. Now that he's back up, Haruma is off to Slur, leaving Shin alive in the process. But Shin wants to talk. Haruma admits his loss in the sumo match, and it just isn't like him to kill a person he lost to fair and square in sports. Though he is down for a rematch, but that won't happen. Before he can get all the way to Slur, Haruma slumps over, acknowledging the power of Shin's last attack, how sports are so important, and worried that Kumomi is going to chew him out again. because, you know, he was kind of a dummy here. In the most recent arc, Slur with his entire crew is trying to blow up a museum, with the intent of killing his brother, Chairman Asaki. We talked about the fights the other orphans had already, so let's get to the biggest fight of them all, taking down Takamura. Takamura has already beaten up Nagumo and Sakamoto here, as well as Slur. Haruma arrives, apologizing for his tardiness. Let's not dwell on this too much, because Slur's victory is contingent on his comrades falling. Haruma is cut in half, and Gaku is stabbed through the chest again, but we aren't talking about them right now. We get a little flash of what Slur's crew used to look like. Finally, we see Rion a cow again, too. Ah! Slur is losing it now. He is clutching his face, how he's always losing the people closest to him. His family. The voice is consuming Slur, looking at Takamura. He doesn't know who he is. While Slur is waiting to be bifurcated, Sakamoto realizes that maybe Slur has created a new personality in the few intense minutes leading up to this point. This realization is 100% true, as we see Takamura cut in half, tisking once as he goes. Sakamoto and Nagumo are both shocked, and Takamura is now a corpse. Slur, emulating Takamura, does the signature murmuring thing that he does as well. So now we have his gang. How's Slur's gang doing? Haruma's dead, Gaku is maybe dead too, Kumomi we don't know, and there are 2 more orphans that we haven't seen yet that are probably alive, but probably won't show up until the next arc or so. And this is where we'll end it off. Thanks for watching, and we'll know what's up with every orphan of Kamar, hopefully in the next few chapters. See you guys next time on Choso Gaming, over and out.